Guys, I've got to finish recording part 2 of the television lecture. Little reality check. It's 5 in the morning Eastern Time, Wednesday, March 25th. And honestly, if I don't finish recording this now, I'm going to keep embellishing it. And, of course, the topic of television for 1, even 2 lectures is pretty impossible. It's easily its own course or 10. So I'm just going to keep plowing ahead here, everybody. So you just looked at a lot of content, including a 9 minutes of I think probably over 20-minute in total infomercial from a long time ago. I think probably from the 70s. And right after that, you looked at, and that's a long form so-called ad. Right after that, you looked at a 15-second TV spot for Kikkoman soy sauce. So we get a sense of the scope of what we can do with TV. I'm going to try to get off. In a little trouble as usual. Moving this thing ahead. I'm sorry, everyone. Gosh darn it all. Come on. There we go. All right. So here are both of them back. I'm not going to play. You already looked at them. But I do have, if it's going to let me do this, a couple of questions. The infomercial on the top. My question to you guys, now we're going back to definitions. Definitions, everybody. How many impressions is this 9+ minute infomercial? How many impressions? What is an impression, everybody, please, in advertising? One person seeing one ad one time. How many ads is this? And then the 15-second Kikkoman commercial, everybody, is how many impressions? One person seeing one ad one time. How many ads is the 15-second Kikkoman commercial? Is there a difference in the quality of impression between the 9+ minute infomercial and the 15-second Kikkoman commercial? Is there more persuasiveness and depth of sale, as we say, in the infomercial than the soy sauce commercial? Well, I guess if we were to watch this again, even without the sound, and leave this up here, you would, I hope, come away with a very clear picture that quality of impression is a real factor, and that with television, in a way just like with outdoor, I have flexibility in terms of the length of exposure to the impression, and it makes a difference, doesn't it? Okay. By the way, I just want to make a quick point, and I am not in any way currying favor here with my audience, you guys, with this, not at all. But we talked about best TV or most influential TV series of the 2010s, and we really left out what I think might be my favorite, and that is, yes, iCarly. By the way, I watched pretty much every episode with my daughter, who's now 23. And I loved the guy on the left dancing with his shirt off. That's one of my favorites. But was a really cute show, by the way. great scripts, great cast. In my mind, right up there as a sitcom with I Love Lucy or any of the great, really, sitcoms. It's a great, great TV show. And again, I'm not saying this to, win any friends or influence people. By the way, in terms of programming, we kind of left off in content, I should say, really. We left off something that a lot of people watch on their television set in their home. And that's this, which is gaming. A lot of people hook up their Nintendo or whatever they've got to their TV at home. Why? Because it's got a really big screen and really great sound. And it's a lot more fun and involving and engaging and impactful, if that's a word other than applying to teeth, to play it on a hardware device like this. Not too many ads in these yet, though, but nevertheless, you do pay a lot for them also on the other side, but something to bear in mind. Yes. Just want to talk about, and this was from a few years ago, viewership in the U.S., and this was, again, a couple years ago, but the concept, I think, holds pretty well. And numbers are in the millions of viewers, and you'll see the highest rated 5 or so shows are mostly football. And 20 million, 15 million or so average viewers. Then you've got some series and things that are tracked by Nielsen. These shows were popular then. In fact, Football Night in America Part 3 is even down here at number 9. You've got some reality TV shows with Dancing with the Stars, and you've got some news. You've got some crime shows. Here's another reality show, Survivor. Reality shows, your book, textbook talks about a bit in terms of they're being pretty inexpensive to produce, and therefore, pretty profitable for the people who produce them. And you know what, in their own way, they are kind of, appointment TV, because, you got to stay tuned to watch the next episode. And if so far they're not streamed too much, right, you kind of have to wait for the next episode. Anyway, this just gives us some idea of the kinds of programs, at least in the U.S., that are popular. Now, this one is extrapolating ratings, a company called Symphony Advanced Media that is pulling ratings from Netflix and Prime and some places like that, and getting a sense. The top one there you can't read. It's Orange is the New Black, season 4. 23 million viewers is what they got. And they, by the way, were tracking these data over time. So they don't just look at the ratings in one night. They recognize that some people will tune in a little later, but it just starts to show the power of these subscription-supported services. And Netflix doesn't report ratings. They don't track ratings, neither does Prime. I mean, they're not selling advertising, so they don't need to. They just claim they don't care, but they are nevertheless pretty interested in viewership, I think you could say, whether you call it ratings or viewership, because obviously the more popular their shows are, the more subscribers they get and they keep. So once again, the network film model is supported in the sense that, shows are rated based on their popularity, right? In addition to the awards they win. Here's some international list of most watched broadcasts of all time worldwide. And you've got the London 2012 Summer Olympics. This I pulled a year or so ago. 3.6 billion, again, giving us a sense of worldwide, because obviously TV is a huge worldwide phenomenon, and we're trying in all of our courses here at FIT to make you guys think about what goes on beyond the boundaries of our country. And once again, just like we saw in the U.S. with football, we see that the sports programs the soccer, FIFA, World Cup, these things are the most popular, most watched programs. And so I would just ask you to bear in mind here. And we started our talk today, or fairly early in the talk today, we talked about the impact of this corona virus on media, short term at least. We don't have Olympics. They've been postponed. I mean, what does that mean for NBC that always broadcasts the Olympics and is paid a lot for them? Well, I guess all those ratings and the revenue that NBC was expecting is not going to happen for another year or so. I mean, what does that mean? Does that mean they have open? Are they going to sell? What are they going to fill it with? A lot of things to think about here. Same with all the other sports, right? Basketball, all the sports seasons here in the U.S. canceled. Anyway, it's just a look at what people are watching around the world. Now, you're seeing this friendly face here. This is my very good friend, Andrew Starr. He's become a very close friend. He was a client of mine when he ran sales at a local New York TV station here. So he was in charge of all the sales, very successful. I was working for a company and we were selling a service to a lead gen sort of info service to media sales organizations. And so he was one of my clients. So we ended up working together and we become really good friends. And I have to confess, I really picked his brains about selling and buying TV, the mechanics and what it really broke down to. While I have overseen buying TV, when I've run marketing for 800 Flowers, for instance, we bought a lot of TV. We bought a lot of direct response TV and a lot of cable networks and other things. But I had other people like doing it for me. I mean, I helped build the plan, but I was running all of marketing. So I wasn't the person calling up the networks and negotiating and figuring out the details of the schedule. And so, because I wanted to share that kind of down in the trenches stuff with you, my friend Andy was a big help. I wanted to give him a little credit there. He's a good guy. All right, so the part of the presentation we're in now is buying TV. There we are, buying TV. Okay, so we've moved on. We're moving through our presentation. By the way, you know what? I think I'm gonna stop here, and we'll pick up with the details on buying TV on the other side. Everybody.